Hi, welcome to the Hyperfixated Fan. I'm Rachel.
I'm Hunter, and we actually have a special guest with us today.
Hello.
Hello.
We have my brother Logan.
Hi, I'm Logan.
He's here with us today to talk about one of our favorite shows. We're going to be talking about Twin Peaks.
Yay.
Yeah, this is a equality thing from last time because I had a special guest and we both info dumped on Hunter, and now Hunter and her special guest can info dump on me because I know nothing about Twin Peaks. So.
I showed her a bunch of we skimmed through so many episodes of random clips from the show, so she'd have at least bare minimum of context.
My bare minimum takeaway is this doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
Correct. That's the correct takeaway.
Knocked
Yes.
it out of the park. Question: how much did you rewatch?
I've recently rewatched all of season 1 of Twin Peaks, all of The Return, and then we watched Fire Watch with me a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Okay, so you rewatched significantly more than I did.
Fair.
I rewatched season 1 pilot, season 1 finale, season 2 pilot, the reveal episode.
Yep. Oh, I did rewatch the reveal episode.
And then we just watched a little bit of the last
the finale.
15 minutes of the finale of season 2, and then I watched the feature version, so episodes 1 and 2 of The Return, episode 8 of The Return, and
such a good episode.
The last 2 episodes of The Return.
Okay, yeah, you got
I got the important bits. There were a few plot points that once I was past them, I realized I wanted to go back, but I just never had the time.
Fair.
Yeah, fucking this show rules.
It's so good.
Hard. I love this show.
So the important thing to note for anyone who's never seen Twin Peaks,
Me.
there are 3 pieces to Twin Peaks. There's the original show from 1990 and 1991, which is Twin Peaks. It's 2 seasons. The first of which is 8 episodes, and then the second one is 22. Then, after that came out the movie Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, which is a prequel movie, which, if you have not watched the original show, don't watch the movie until afterwards.
We probably won't talk a lot about Twin Peaks, or about... We'll talk a lot about
Twin Peaks. We'll talk about Twin Peaks on the Twin Peaks episode.
We're probably not going to talk a lot about Fire Walk with Me. In general, it doesn't add or subtract a whole lot from the plot of the show.
Information-wise. But it is very good. I advise, I recommend
it. Very heavy content warning.
Yes, thank you for that.
It covers...
It covers Laura Palmer's last days, so all the stuff you hear about in the show, you get to witness it. And I say that like it's a reward. You witness it.
You have to witness it.
It's
yes.
pretty heavy. But and then there is Twin Peaks: The Return,
which takes place 25 years after the initial show.
And if you don't like the weird parts of seasons 1 and 2, don't watch The Return.
Because it takes that and ramps it right up there.
From the beginning, it's pretty intense.
Okay.
And, very surreal, very good. We will be talking a lot about that because Dougie Jones is the greatest character ever put to screen.
He's
fucking
a
fight
delight.
me.
I kind of just want to watch a YouTube compilation of him from how
we
you
can do that.
him.
We can absolutely do that.
That is going to be 4 hours long.
Oh no! Never mind.
He's a lot.
He's a lot. He's got a lot of screen time and he's marvelous.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess we can start with the premise of Twin Peaks in general.
Yes, please.
Which is a girl named Laura Palmer in the town of Twin Peaks, Washington, is murdered. She washes up on the banks of a river in front of the local sawmill and wrapped in plastic. And so we are following the investigation into who killed Laura Palmer. It starts off, the first 2 episodes are pretty straightforward. It is the sheriff's department.
I would say the first season is...
You start getting the dream in episode 3.
Yeah,
and
but
the Tibetan monk investigation.
But even that's, you could just write that off as quirky. It's not the first season is
it's
very,
not focused on that.
Yeah, it's very.
I'm saying we're getting into Lynchy and shit.
Yeah,
but
I would say all of season 1 is very approachable.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's done in the way of a pretty standard soap opera at the time, just a little bit more serialized.
Absolutely. But so it's primarily following the Sheriff's Department as they start into their investigation, as well as Special Agent Dale Cooper from the FBI, who has come to look into this case as it shares some similarities to a case investigated the previous year, the murder of Teresa Banks. There's also another girl, Renette Polanski, excuse me, who was not killed in the attack that Laura was, but was also attacked and is now comatose, so can't really give any information.
Does she stay in a coma the whole time?
She briefly wakes up.
She wakes up
too.
for, like, to give some cryptic message.
Yeah.
And
and the picture of Bob.
Yeah.
You got the sketch image of Bob.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's like enough to be like, this guy sucks. And then also something about, I don't know, she may have said something about owls. I don't know. I can't remember who says what cryptic thing. That's like season 2.
I want to say Margaret says the thing about the owls.
Well, the owls are not what the scene was originally said by the giant in episode 1 of season 2.
So right.
Okay.
But
there's so many cryptic messages in this show, it's impossible to keep track.
And, like, do they mean anything?
Well, the owls are not what they seem. Yes.
Okay.
And, he is in the bag that smiles. That's
the smiling bag.
The smiling bag is also a legit thing.
Okay.
Without medicine, he points.
Without medicine, he points.
That one means something.
That one's very important.
Fire walk with me.
Still don't know what that means.
Still unclear about that one. That's just more like, that really feels like the thing where, like, when you're a teen and you hang out with your buddy and you're like, I came up with the coolest thing, and then you're like, yeah, we're gonna get that tattoo together. Oh my god, that sounds so cool. And someone's like, okay, cool, what does that mean? And you're like, it just sounds cool.
So I googled, what does fire walk with me mean? And the first thing popped up was on the Twin Peaks subreddit. It says, what does fire walk with me mean to you? So
we don't know.
It's
up for interpretation.
Like the thing that Bob and Mike had tattooed. Bless you.
Here's the issue. Is it can be read 2 ways. I've never talked about this out loud. And now I'm very excited to talk about this out loud.
Yeah, tell me.
It can be read 2 ways depending on how you emphasize certain words. There is fire walk with me, which is the thing of fire.
Yeah.
Walk alongside me.
Yeah.
And then there's fire walk with me, which is
like an action.
Like to, like fire walking, like walking on hot coals.
Yeah.
So like
that tracks.
It upsets me that they always say fire walk with me, because to me, like, the meaning is like walking along evil effectively.
Yeah.
And so like that's, I think, what it is like fire walk with me, deal with this absolute heinous thing that's happening.
Yeah.
Which that would track honestly very well with how with Mike physically chopping that away from himself, getting rid of that message.
Yeah.
Because he no longer wants to do that dangerous walk.
Okay. That poor guy.
Yeah.
I was listening when I was rewatching. I was listening to the episodes of the Blank Check podcast.
Yeah.
And one of them, they were talking about. They pointed out how like the giant in The Return like just looks old, like, and not in a like, oh, he's aging, but in like kind of like, one of them was like, he looks old in a sad way.
He does.
And it's him and the guy who played Mike. Like they both just kind of got old in a like it almost looks like their skin is like kind of falling off a little bit, but it like leans into who they are as characters. Like
it
very
does.
much.
It suits them.
Because Mike is just beat to shit.
No.
And then the fireman is just trying to deal with whatever the fuck Bob and Judy are up to.
Who's Judy?
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Judy is kind of a concept and not necessarily an actual character.
Yeah.
You
don't learn that it's not a character until very late in the game.
And she's only mentioned 3 or 4 times.
One of them by David Bowie.
Yeah, because
but like Bob is like an actual like entity.
Yes.
Okay.
And Judy is an entity.
Okay.
But it's more of like what we end up finding out in the Atomic Bomb episode 8 is that Bob was created at the explosion of the first atomic bomb, and Judy, who is this like just pure creature of evil, effectively gave birth to Bob at that point. It's really, it's like she pukes so much stuff, and then there's this orb with Bob in it.
Yes. It's a very abstract image. It's both abstract and very like clear. It's like, okay, that's a person, that's a vomiting, that's a Bob. But at the same time, it's like it came from an atomic bomb.
Yeah.
And a convenience store. So there you go.
Which is in the Black Lodge.
Bob and Mike used to live above that. So,
It's like a whole deal.
So
it's a whole thing.
Like the personification of evil, basically.
Judy is the experience of evil.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
how I read it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no,
And
that's
Bob
a very
is like
good way of putting it.
the personification.
Yeah.
of
He's
evil.
a
Okay.
physical manifestation.
Okay, that
It's
makes
born out of the
sense.
atomic bomb.
yeah.
Sorry for that side track.
No, please ask questions because we will just
Talk
keep
about
going.
There's so
else?
many characters. I'm like, who's this? Who's that? Like,
Yeah, so I guess,
Do you want to kind of hit it timeline?
yeah, that's a good way to do it.
please.
Probably the best way.
Yeah.
Which means we'll make it through 4 sentences.
Sounds good.
So, like, the first bit of Twin Peaks very much reads like a crime drama,
Mhm.
but at the same time very much reads like a soap opera.
Yeah, you have 40 plus characters, all of which
Yeah.
have a plot line, and they're all
Yeah.
important. So
They all have their own plots happening. You have, like, just of Laura's specific, like, network, you have her boyfriend, Bobby, who is, like, a jock, but also just this really annoying
Right.
guy. He's ditching school so that he can go hang out with his other girlfriend,
Right.
Shelley, who works at the diner and has a husband,
everyone
Leo.
cheats on everybody.
Yeah, and pretty much
The
everyone's
soap
cheating on
opera
everybody.
drama.
And then, yeah, Shelley's got a husband, Leo. Leo is a truck driver, but he also is carting or like involved in a drug trade with cocaine. He's giving the cocaine to Bobby, who sells it at school. So, you know, that's just Bobby.
Oh my god.
Bobby and Shelley, honestly, very
Great.
cute. Big fan
Especially-
of that relationship.
Especially by the time you hit like midway through season 2.
Yeah,
They're
that's
incredible. They're perfect.
they have some rough spots, but like eventually it's like just hitting right.
Okay.
Leo sucks. He's abusive. We do not like Leo.
Mhm.
Yeah, but
Not
then
a
he
fan
goes
of
brain
Leo.
dead.
Bobby has
Lots of people in comas, huh?
There's so many comas.
He
Oh my
doesn't go into a
god.
coma.
No.
He goes brain dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is
He's awake.
He's
specific-
awake, but like not
difference.
doing anything.
But that's a very important distinction.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
There is Bobby's best friend, Mike, who is mostly just there until he later dates Nadine, who is a grown woman with the mind of a 17-year-old after a coma. But we'll get to Nadine.
Do we have to go over everyone?
No, I'm right now. I'm telling you Laura's group and the extensions they're on.
Okay.
So then Laura's best friend, Donna. Donna is, I mean, her entire character base is being Laura's best friend. And then there's Laura's secret boyfriend, James, who is supposed to be the cool guy, possibly the bad boy,
bitch.
but he's just
Rip.
kind of,
A bitch.
he also has baby face, so he doesn't look like the cool guy or the like
And he's a
bad
bitch.
boy, and he's a bitch.
Gotcha.
He rides a
Can you tell
motorcycle.
I hate James?
Yeah.
James is just like, so I had this in my notes earlier, which was just like, Donna can be a very competent and interesting character.
Okay.
There's also this character that comes in later, Maddie, who is Laura's cousin, who is also played by the girl who plays Laura.
Yes.
And she, you got that?
Well, I cannot
I
believe
don't-
I'm drawing a blank on her name.
For
right
whatever
now.
reason, her, yeah, I don't think I have it written down in my notes, but
Why?
Laura,
She's like the most important character.
she is the most important character, and yet, or not Maddie is, but like Laura, you would think her casting would be at the top of the list, but she also provides some interesting stuff because she looks just like Laura.
Right.
They pull off a few stunts that they shouldn't because they're teens walking around with a girl who looks just like the dead girl that knows everyone in town.
Right.
And like when Maddie and Donna are like hanging out, they even get some interesting stuff done. They come up with like interesting ideas as to like what was Laura up to?
Cheryl
Who did
Lee.
Cheryl Lee, thank
I'm
you.
so sorry. I feel so embarrassed.
Don't. That's fine. That's what I'm always doing. I Google stuff during these all the time.
Oh, for sure.
And then, but then James gets added to this group, and like all brains are turned off, because suddenly the only thing Donna could do is like give heart eyes to James.
They sing
and
the
then
worst song
They say the worst song in the world,
of
and
all
then,
time. It's
like
bad.
get annoyed because she suddenly thinks that like James is actually in love with like Maddie instead of her because Maddie looks like Laura, who he was in love with Laura.
Okay.
So obviously there's something going on there, which there isn't.
So she smokes cigarettes.
So then she gets cool. She's got to be the cool girl to win James back and like wear Laura's old sunglasses and smoke cigarettes.
Okay.
So now she's cool now, isn't she, James? And like, I don't know.
And then James runs away to go be with some 40-year-old woman. Anyway.
Yeah, he runs away and like fucks
The
them up
next-
or whatever. So like, God, James.
We
Anyway.
gotta,
That's it. I'm
we
done with
gotta
like
keep
that.
going.
But that's what I mean. Like everyone's
Let's
got these
address
8
characters.
million like
Plot
plots
first.
that's going. This
Let's
is all
address
happening.
characters as we get to them in the plot.
Yes. Sorry, I just wanted to talk about how much it's like a soap opera. Because this is we're not even gonna like have to.
I'm just gonna Google Twin Peaks talk.
Peaks.
Y'all both have ADHD, so it's like you need an outline.
We should have come up with an outline. So
the first season is like a crime drama.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then it gets, the end of season 1 is when you get introduced to the Black Lodge.
And you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, we have
The Black Lodge, for those who don't know, is kind of an alternate dimension that Cooper has a connection to. You later find out he's actually been investigating it. But it's this alternate dimension almost where Bob comes from. Bob being this almost the spiritual incarnation of evil that is caught, that possesses these people to then commit these heinous events. That being spoiler alert for Twin Peaks. Feel like we should just say that now.
Spoilers are allowed. They know. They should know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm about to like drop the spoiler.
The spoiler.
Okay.
Like you come to find out, Bob possessed Leland, who is Laura's father, to kill her, and Laura is also like the antithesis of Bob. She's like the spiritual ideal of like good, and she's created to basically take on the evil that Bob is putting out into the world. It's heartbreaking.
She takes the brunt of his force, so that it essentially doesn't go anywhere else. Which means she takes all the pain that he would put out into the world as a teen girl,
or most of it.
Yeah, most of it. I mean, obviously, he still killed Teresa Banks.
Yeah.
He still attacked Ronette, and possibly a ton more. But it's just absolutely devastating to think about.
Okay, so that happens.
I do want to touch briefly on Bob's intro, if I may.
Yeah, go for it.
So
I love Bob. Well, I don't love Bob.
Well,
the character,
Bob's portrayal.
He's absolutely incredible. Frank Silva is an absolute master.
He's played by Frank Silva, who was originally on set as a set dresser and lighting tech. So originally, David Lynch spotted him just kind of on set and is like, "You have a cool look to you. Are you an actor?" And Frank was like, "Yeah, I guess sometimes." So he's like, "Okay, cool. I don't know what I will use this for, but can you like crouch ominously by the side, or like the foot of the bed here?"
You actually missed a huge.
I thought this one first.
No, the mirror.
I thought this one first, and the mirror was the happy accident because it worked out.
The happy accident first happened because it was.
The one I thought the timeline I saw was the other way around.
It was.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell my part first, and then I will get to the mirror. Because otherwise we're just going to argue.
Christ.
Fuck you, this is my podcast.
All right, go.
So he was like, "Hey, like, crouch here by the foot of the bed. We're going to use this shot for something." Gets this shot of just like Frank Silva looking ominous at the foot of Laura's bed. Then, in another scene, they're shooting Sarah Palmer, Laura's mother, having this kind of vision and sending her into kind of like hysteric psychosis, something.
I think it was when she realized what Leland was doing. I think it was like it was like the first time that she made the connection of like, because Leland handed her a glass right before that. Because it was, I remember seeing that when I was doing like the rewatch, and I was like, "Oh, that tracks back to Firewalk."
Because it lines up with the hand grabbing the necklace. I just assumed that's what she was seeing.
It has to do with Leland like gave her the glass, which I don't know was planned plot wise until later. But I think if you look back on it after having watched, it could be seen that Leland had just done his
some
thing
connection to Leland
because he goes and does bad things. Anyway.
Sure, fair.
Okay,
I buy that.
But on the couch.
While she's having this vision, she sits up, she cries out, and there's a mirror on the wall above her, and just caught in this mirror is Frank Silva.
Yeah.
He's blurry, he's like barely in there, but it's him, enough that you can recognize him. And so the photographer was like, we're gonna have to reshoot this, and we got a crew member in there, and David Lynch was like, "Which one? Which crew member?" And he's like, this guy, Frank Silva here. He's like, "Keep it. This is perfect. This is working out. We're keeping that." So between those two things that he had put together, we thus became the creation of Bob and Bob's look and Frank Silva as our ultimate evil, as it were.
Yeah, see, I had read that it was the opposite, that they were filming the shot of Grace Zabriskie, who plays Sarah, and they like realized like, hey, Frank's in the back of this, and and then Lynch walked up and was like, hey, you an actor? You part of the guild? And he was like, yeah. And he was like, great, sign
Fantastic.
here. Like,
Sign here.
You ready to be just an absolute like, you want to be the bad guy? And Frank was like, fucking love to.
Works for me. I think either way is a good story.
Yeah, it rules either way.
It worked out great for him.
Yeah.
And good job for David Lynch for like seizing that opportunity, you know?
For sure.
He's always like his whole I mean, if you look at, I'm gonna jump to another Lynch movie, Eraserhead, which is Lynch's first feature film.
A wild
it was
time.
filmed
You would probably hate it, Rachel.
Great.
a lot of people do. I watched it at a like 10 p.m. showing at Alamo when they were doing their like
Lynch series.
Their Lynch series. It was one of the most interesting experiences I've ever had. We both loved it. I will never recommend it to people.
Okay.
But, you go look at Eraserhead, which was filmed during his time at AFI, the American Film Institute. And for some reason, he became kind of AFI's like child. Like the whole staff, like the whole like everybody there was just like, we just kind of let Lynch do what Lynch wants to do.
He's everyone's favorite.
Give me like 4 seconds.
No, absolutely not. Don't take time to Google your
When we
information.
talk about David Lynch, I always think about that meme of like, expand on that. And he's like, no.
Eraserhead is my most spiritual film. Expand on that.
No. Watch the movie.
Hey, if it makes you feel any better,
as a human,
watching the movie answers no questions.
No.
But
at the same time, I get what he means. It's like, am I having a spiritual experience? No.
That's
but do I know
such a
what you
funny
mean?
meme.
Yes.
Who was the production designer? So,
yes.
I'm trying to find production design. Jack. Okay, so while he was at AFI, he met Jack Fisk, who Jack Fisk goes on to be one of the most like prolific production designers of the last 40 years. He's an absolute legend. Like he's truly amazing. He ended up working. The only time he worked with him on a feature film was during Mulholland Drive. Sorry, side tangent. But while he was working on Eraserhead, like he filmed that entirely while he was at AFI, and it was not an assignment. He didn't get any funding for it.
Wow, yeah.
And it was like he would just like be like, "Hey, I have a roll of film. Let's go shoot this scene."
That's fun.
Like
You have a great like imitation of him.
Jack Nance, who is a long-term Lynch collaborator, like was in everything that he did up until his passing. Like it was just like Jack Nance and like 2 other guys, and like they just would go film this stuff, and that's like speaks to the way Lynch does things, where it's just like, oh, this was a very happy accident.
Yeah.
Like just going for things and just shooting as far as he can, and 99% of the time it lands because he just goes like, I'll make it work. Also, I'm Lynch, so I can just do things.
Yeah. That's cool.
I'm just allowed to do that. No one's gonna stop me.
Do you want a heartfelt story of a man on a tractor? It's good. God damn,
that is one of his movies.
And it's
that wasn't even a joke. That is
the straight story. It's a really fucking good movie.
Okay.
Like it's incredible, and it got bought by Disney.
Yeah.
For distribution
it's
in the 90s.
It's a Disney
only in America.
Lynch movie.
Interesting.
And it rules, and it's great, and like I will talk a lot about
What's
that
it
movie.
Called?
The Straight Story.
Okay, gotcha.
It's so good.
Yeah, sorry, it didn't sound like that was a movie title when you said it.
No.
That is what it's called.
Okay, so season 2 of
Oh, right, yes.
Season 1 kind of reveals fuck all.
Yeah, no, things are just kind of happening, I guess. Like investigations, people are having affairs left and right. Let's see,
Let me see if there's a quote from season 2, episode 1 I want to try and find.
at the end of season 1, Coop gets shot. And he has his first... No, that's actually the season premiere of season 2. But we kind of have our first like real encounter with the supernatural, as it were, when Coop has his conversation with the giant.
Like interactive supernatural.
Yeah,
thing.
it's not just like a dream.
Yeah.
Like he's had a dream sequence where he talked. Well, he didn't talk. He heard from Bob. He heard from Mike. He entered the Red Room in the Black Lodge, which is the Red Room in the Black Lodge is what that same thing that you see spoofed in like every other TV show on the planet.
I have not.
They've done it in like The Simpsons. They've done it in like
I haven't seen The Simpsons.
I was looking for the quote. What are we talking about?
Just shows that have spoofed on the Red Room.
Oh, 90. I mean,
Like,
it maybe
so
not even
many.
spoof, but like references. Like anytime there's like a floor with a chevron pattern, black and white chevron pattern, or you get like
Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated did a whole episode.
I haven't seen that actually.
Oh, it rips. That show's
you're
so
wrong.
good.
Great
I know.
show.
I need to watch it.
But you'll get to see it. The arms in there, like directly. They drew him in there.
Okay. But it's like an iconic pop culture thing.
It
Yeah,
absolutely
huge.
is.
Okay.
Usually, if you see like a curtain with like a single statue,
Okay.
that's a reference.
Okay.
You'll hear, the owls are not what they seem. You'll hear lots of like vague
Okay.
reference to that. It's all Twin Peaks.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So there's like a lot of that, and then like we have little things like that. But then in season 2, the giant comes to Coop while he's like on the floor, has been shot.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, bud, here's the deal.
The owls are not what they seem.
The owls are not what they seem.
Without his medicine, he points.
Something about a smiling bag.
Yeah, he is in the smiling bag or something like
Just
that.
gives some really obscure. He's like, these are the signs you will see, and that's how you'll know that I'm real.
Okay.
And also, I'm going to steal your ring, and then once you've recognized that what I've said is real, I'll give it back to you.
Okay, great, thanks.
And then he's just gone, and Coop is still just on the floor, shot.
Okay, thanks.
It's also really funny because a waiter, like a room service guy, shows up at the same time and is like, I've brought your warm milk. And Coop's like, great, can you call the cops? And here's your
because
warm
Andy's
milk.
on the phone
Andy's
with him.
on the
And he's
phone!
like, Agent Cooper, are you okay? And then the waiter man grabs the phone and just hangs it up and goes, I hung it up for you. And then gives him 9 thumbs up.
Just like keeps him just, and Coop's just like, great. And he's like, oh, can you sign your receipt? And he's just like,
God.
It is one of my favorite scenes in all of Twin Peaks. It's one of the most weirdly unsettling scenes.
It's so funny.
The guy, there's also the whole theory that the guy is also the giant.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a theory I haven't delved too far into.
They have a similar look. They have similar attire.
They appear at the same time.
Yeah, multiple times.
Multiple times.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, because there's even a scene at the end of that episode where they're at the Roadhouse, which is like the local bar.
Yes.
Yeah, because I remember I showed you when he said it's happening again.
Yes.
The waiter was at the bar.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
And he came over and he actually apologized to Agent Cooper.
I found the quote I was looking for.
Yeah.
This is in season 2, episode 1, when Dale comes back after he almost dies. And it's Sheriff Truman's like, Lucy, you better bring Agent Cooper up to date. And Lucy says, Leo Johnson was shot, Jacques Renault was strangled, the mill burned down, Shelley and Pete got smoke inhalation, Catherine and Josie are missing, Nadine is in a coma from taking sleeping pills.
It's like, are you
all
serious?
Of that happened in the last 45 minutes of the last episode.
Yep. It was a busy finale.
Gosh,
there was a lot
so
happening.
Much stuff happening.
Leo Johnson goes brain dead. Jacques Renault strangled by Leland because Leland found there was like the whole idea that he was the one who killed Laura because he was involved in a bad thing with Laura.
Okay.
He was there the night Laura died.
But he was not
the one who killed her.
Okay, gotcha.
But Leland, not possessed by Bob at the time, found out and was like, it kills him.
Okay.
The mill burned down. That's pretty self-explanatory. Shelley and Pete got smoke inhalation from the mill burning down.
Yeah.
Catherine and Josie are missing. That leads to a subplot I don't want to address.
She told me about the Catherine situation.
It's the absolute worst.
It's so... Yeah, I showed her the reveal scene with Pete.
It was so funny.
Which I will say, the reveal scene with Pete
It's so
That's
funny.
the only good thing
It is
about
good.
that plot line.
That's so funny.
So we're dancing around it. Basically, Catherine.
if you know, you know.
Yeah, Catherine decides that she's going to come back to town after she's faked her death, but instead of I don't know, pretending to be a guy, or just dyeing her hair blue, or something silly, she decides to be a Japanese man. And
End of it.
and that was her decision.
Japanese man.
Rich Japanese man, yeah. I have questions about who allowed this, even in world. There was a Japanese man walking around as her assistant that whole time, and he just let that happen. But, but the only funny thing about that is that when she did come home to her husband, Pete, she did just start making out with him.
Yeah, just randomly, and he was like,
who are you? Please back away. And she's like,
it rules.
but your eyes.
so funny. It's so
It's
funny.
so funny.
It rules.
But, yeah, anyway, that bit's a little questionable. To say the
Totally.
But that was also post Lynch Frost season 2.
Yeah,
There's
that was-
a block of episodes in season 2 post the reveal, pre episode 18. That Lynch and Frost all but left the show.
Yeah, they were barely attached.
Yeah, they were gone.
It was pretty much in name only, I think.
Yeah, and then Lynch, and then they both came back and were like, "We're gonna finish this show strong," because
Okay.
they got canceled, and they were like, "You have to finish out the season." They were like,
Gotcha.
"Cool, bet we'll come back and
We'll fix
We'll
it.
do what we want.
and
We'll fix what you messed up.
which
Yeah.
led to arguably, top 5 greatest episodes of television.
The last
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
last
season
was
2,
really good.
the finale of season 2.
I
is
do
a
like the
masterpiece.
final scene that y'all showed me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
it rules.
good.
God. Because it's so there's a lot in season 2, even once they come back, that admittedly I don't care about.
Fair.
That may just be because I never watched through to the end, because I always get bored in the part where they're gone, where Lynch and Frost are gone.
You can skip episode 10 through 18.
Rip.
I don't care about Wyndham Earl.
That's when people fall off.
Yeah, and I know he's important to the end.
He's not.
But I love Annie, and I like oh god, what's his name that Audrey ends up with?
Oh, Billy Zane's character?
Billy.
No,
Billy
Bill-
Zane is
Billy,
in this?
yeah, Billy
What's his character name though?
Something.
But I like him.
Yeah, he's
even
good.
if he
So
is
many random people in here. Billy Zane, David Duchovny, what?
Oh, it's great.
And they're all great.
I like that. I think Ben's weird turnaround to suddenly being super passionate for the ecosystem and whatever is so funny to me.
But you also have to remember, to get through that, you have to get through his weird.
His Civil War
His
phase.
weird
Is,
Civil
Oh
War
no!
phase.
Oh no!
after finding out about how he almost slept with his daughter
Oh
in
my
his brothel
god!
that he
Please
owns.
don't. We're not getting into
No,
that.
we're not. That's it. I'm leaving it there. But after he realizes he almost did that, and also his whole a lot of the stuff he's been in charge of got messed up. He almost went to prison for killing Laura Palmer, which he didn't do, but
Yeah.
he almost got pretty successfully framed. And then the whole incident at Maya Jax and just all of that. He's like, I need to fix my life. I need to have control over something because I've lost all control. And his method of gaining control was being the Confederate Army and winning the Civil War. In his office at work.
It's bro, there's so many other things.
There's so many other ways, but that was his decision.
Weirdly
Well, I
enough,
say it's his decision. He sort of it was more of a psychosis situation.
Yeah.
He fully embodied
weirdly
the
enough,
Civil
that's
War
the lynchiest
leader.
thing that happens when Lynch is gone.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Also, Billy Zane's character's name was John Justice Wheeler. That
Okay.
name rips. That's a good
Yeah,
name.
that's a good solid name. Yeah. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Gotcha.
But after that, he decides, I know I put a ton of money and devious plans and pretty illegal situations to work to get this Ghostwood Estates set up here in Twin Peaks. But what if I decided actually that's all bad and I want it not to happen anymore because the ecosystem, and we're going to save the Pine Marten.
All right, sounds good.
So that he just dives fully into it. He's like, we're going to stop Ghostwood. We are going to save the Pine Marten. We're going to save the ecosystem of Twin Peaks. Audrey, you and me, we're going to do this. And he and Audrey just start putting it all together. They're serving the cause. they're gonna raise money for the Pine Martin. It is a Pine Martin, right? Pine Weasel, something like that.
I don't know. I don't care about these 8 episodes.
I just genuinely think it's so funny because Ben is such a weirdo.
When I say I don't care about these episodes, I couldn't tell you a single piece of dialogue that comes from any of these.
I mean, I can't either. I just think it's funny.
The only thing that I remember from these 6 episodes is 1, weird Confederacy.
I don't like that bit.
2, James being a bitch and running off to be with some teacher. I think, was she a teacher?
No, dude, she was just a rich wife.
Yeah, that's right.
And then she had to kill her husband so she could frame him.
It's so bad.
And then he was like, I feel bad about making you kill my husband, tricking you into killing my husband. You should run away before the cops get you.
Oh my god.
Like, the cops and I called on you.
It's so bad.
And the whole thing was pointless. I was like, James, you don't need a MILF. Get out of here.
Everything about those 6 episodes or whatever, it's so bad.
James is the worst. He should have stayed with a MILF and gotten arrested.
Name one redemptive quality from those 8 episodes. Aside, we get Denise.
We get Denise.
Yes,
we do get Denise. Okay, so Denise is wonderful.
Oh my god, it's
Denise,
so bad.
So Coop sort of gets framed for stealing drugs from the DEA or something like that.
It's so bad.
I don't know. It's something like that. Basically, someone wants him like out of the FBI. I don't really remember. But someone from the DEI, they're sending an agent to investigate these claims. And he's like, oh my god, it's Agent Dennis Bryan. I've worked with him a ton of times. He's a good agent. He'll be fine. He'll clear the air.
Future head of the FBI.
Yes.
Nice.
And so they get the call on the intercom. Agent Bryan is here. They're like, great, send him in. And in walks David Duchovny
in a wig
with long hair and a suit skirt and
lipstick.
Looking
good
great.
For sure.
And he's like, Dennis? And she's like, actually, I go by Denise. I prefer Denise now. And he's like, okay, Denise. Excellent, Denise. Good to see you. And like he just accepts it like no question.
Yeah. Nice.
And she's like, the only thing I don't love about Denise is that she cannot shake hands like a normal person.
Yeah,
she extends her hands like palm down and like fingers like kind of floppy. Like almost like she's expecting them to like kiss her hand like a princess. Yeah. And it's like, I'm begging you. Yeah. You still work at the FBI. You still do handshakes.
Now, was
Denise.
that probably like a directorial decision to imply more femininity?
Yeah,
absolutely. But it's so.
But hey, it's proof that Lynch can't write a female character. So
rip. And like even Sheriff Truman and Hawk, who are in the office as well. Like, Truman shakes her hand, and it's just like,
respectful.
Yeah, hello, yes. Hawk is just kind of stunned in silence.
Right.
Bless his heart.
Hey, he does say that the suit looks good on her.
Yes, he does say it's a good color on her. Yeah. Coop is just like, yeah, we're staying in the same hotel. You were going to have a great time. And she's like, I can't wait to tell you all about my new life. He's like, I can't wait to hear more about this. Everyone is just like, I mean, there are a couple of, like, it is very... I think progressive for the time.
Yeah, like there's some of this gendering happening.
It's a little questionable for like today's day.
Yeah, but back then,
but for given the time, I think it's fantastic.
Very tasteful, very respectful.
Absolutely,
yeah, that's good.
And like I think after that one scene, even the other jokes are dropped. Like I don't think they continue with any misgendering past that initial scene.
I think there's maybe.
Oh, hello, TV, for deciding to turn on.
Who is
Max.
your guy?
That's Zach Bagans. Yeah, I put him as my personal.
What do you mean? Thing. Who is that guy?
Look, I don't watch Ghost Adventures.
That is Zach Bagans of Ghost Adventures.
I know him by reputation only. Like
that's my dog right there.
Oh, he's the worst.
He didn't believe in ghosts until he became face to face with them. These are my ghost adventures. You're gonna look me in the eyes and you're gonna tell me you don't know who Zach Bagans is?
I know him by reputation, okay? I don't know what his face looks like. Sorry. That was really funny.
These are his ghost adventures.
All his many ghost adventures.
God.
Okay, so I heard there's like a movie that like makes fun of him, but it's kind of
Probably.
Yes,
serious.
yes.
movie.
Oh my god, yes. It's called
What movie is
oh
that?
my god, just me and the girl watched it. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
you were telling me about it. I was like, I don't
Yeah, they
know.
go into like an abandoned asylum or something, and everything about the crew is like
Nope,
they're
shut
making
up.
fun of him so
Oh, what is
bad.
it called?
Give me a
It
second.
actually, is that the one with the guy, like, it ends with the dude in the tunnel underneath the hospital?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh my god,
it's so good.
I need to watch this.
I mean, it's not. It's so bad.
I
But, like,
legitimately
it's
enjoyed
so
it. I thought it was fun.
Oh no, we had a great time.
It's a good movie.
It's
The
so
sequel.
funny.
Oh,
Oh god, what is it called?
yeah, because it's like a time loop thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Ghost.
Go-
Wait. Found footage.
We're gonna
Ghost
find this live on air.
investigation.
This is such a great tangent.
Grave Encounters.
Grave Encounters.
Okay.
That's it.
It's going on my
It
list.
starts out as a parody of Ghost Adventures.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like there's a shot outside the asylum where they find like a gardener or whatever, and they're just like, "Hey, have you had any, like this place is supposed to be haunted? Have you encountered any ghosts?" And the guy's just like, "No."
Yeah.
And then there's like this brief pause, and he like hands the guy money, and he's like, "Have you encountered any ghosts?" He's like, "Yes, I saw a ghost
That movie rips, man.
right over there."
Fuck you, that movie rips.
I mean, we had a great time. It was so funny. Have you seen the
Also-
sequel?
I've not.
Oh, it's like just as bad. It's so good.
Also, you need to give me your top 5 Ghost Adventures episodes and I'll watch them.
Bobby Mackey's, both 1 and 2, are both really, really good.
I'm gonna track
I
down
know
which
Bobby
one has the
Mackey's.
cow in it because that was the funniest one I've ever
Yeah,
Okay,
seen.
Bobby
Bobby
Mackey's cow.
There was a whole island episode. Like they investigated like an entire island.
Okay.
Like the doll island or like a normal island?
No, it was like an old Victorian or like old like Revolutionary War era like trading post or
Island.
something.
Cool.
Cow.
I promise it means something. I will figure out what episode that is.
And then I have to remember which ones. I think it's Zach got the really big scratches on his back. It was like an
Scratches.
asylum.
Apparently that happens to him like all the time now, and he's possessed every episode these days. From what I understand. People are like, just McKenna's been looking into this recently, like just ghosts.
I mean, he's a
herself.
fluke.
And like every single episode, it's always demons, and he's always possessed.
He's a fluke.
So he's
So how long
he's
has he been
nothing.
doing this for?
Oh, like
20
30
years?
years.
I'll bet 30 years at this point.
There's
Yeah.
like at least 30 seasons.
Because I feel like I
how
remember
long?
watching it like in middle school, just on the Sci-Fi Channel, but
How long has Zach Bagans been ghost hunting?
Here,
Since his early years. Shut up, AI.
Shut Hang on, let me just go to IMDb and I can tell you. Oh my god.
It says a
Ghost
personal encounter with
Adventures.
spirits in 2002.
okay, yeah. So like,
Ghost
So-
Adventures started in 2000. Wait,
What,
giving me
8?
two answers here.
2008?
2004 is this one.
Damn.
okay, so like 20 years.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Interesting.
So,
Anyway, Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks. Now that the TV's done scaring us with jump scare Zach Bagans. God.
I want to jump.
Hang on. I did have one more point about Denise.
Denise.
Okay.
Which was in the return, the 25 years later, Gordon Cole, who is Coop's like boss at the FBI,
Played by David Lynch himself.
played by David Lynch. Delight, almost entirely deaf, has like the worst.
Except when he's talking to...
Shelley. Yeah,
Shelley.
Shelley's the only one he can hear at a normal volume, but he has like the absolute worst like hearing aids of all time. So he's yelling constantly. It's incredibly funny. But
Cool!
God, it's so loud. It's great. But 25 years later, he goes to see the head of the FBI, and there's Denise, head of the FBI.
That's great.
But they kind of just talk about some stuff. And at one point, he's just like talking about like back when she came out as trans. He's just like, and I told them, those clown comics, to fix their hearts or die.
Told them to fix their hearts or die.
David Lynch's character.
Yeah, just like
Nice,
talking
good for
about the
them.
boys, those boys out there.
Yeah.
How, like they better treat you right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I just
Trans rights.
trans rights, and I just have always I love that line.
Good for him.
I mean, it makes him sound a little like. You remember how I'm a good ally, Denise.
Yeah.
It's me, the good ally.
Yeah.
But it's like, but also it's just a good line.
Yeah, totally.
But anyway, yes, you wanted to say something that I redirected.
I just wanted to. I think we should
move on.
Considering how we're 45 minutes in and we have 45 minutes left, we'll probably jump to The Return.
Okay,
yeah.
Because I feel like if we work our way through The Return, we'll be able to jump back.
But the end of season 2, from what I know, is like Coop gets switched with the doppelganger.
Nailed
Yes.
it. Summed it up in one sentence.
There we go.
Coop goes into the Black Lodge, and Evil Coop, aka Mr. C, makes it out instead of him. So now Coop is trapped in the Black Lodge, and Mr. C is running rampant.
Yeah.
Also,
so
Kyle MacLachlan's acting skills
in that,
Fantastic.
it's unreal. He's an
Fantastic.
absolute legend.
Yeah, he's great.
So The Return, 25 years later.
Yes.
We get Fire Walk with Me in between there. It gets its booze, it cans, it becomes a cult classic. It's
really good.
One of the most beautiful movies ever created. It's one of the most depressing things I've ever seen in my entire life.
Absolutely devastating. We saw it in theaters a couple weeks back. It didn't hurt.
Aside from that one really annoying dude
Well, yeah.
who wouldn't stop going.
Oh no!
Yeah, there were a lot of snorting sounds coming from
Granted,
back there.
that was when the first big dust storm hit.
Oh yeah.
There was,
yeah.
I probably couldn't help it, but
So, it couldn't help it, but it was also just one of the single most annoying. I've also never heard somebody, like, straight up moan while eating food.
Oh!
It was wild. It's a good thing the last 45 minutes of that movie are the loudest thing of all time.
they are really
You hit that club scene, which is... sorry, I know I said I wasn't going to talk about Fire Walk With Me. The club scene in Fire Walk With Me, it is...
It's a lot.
like 14 minutes long or something. Like, it's long. And it shouldn't be that long.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this Angela Badalamenti wrote this piece that is just like the same like 4 bars over and over, and there's just like this continuous just like bass sound that's just like vwomp, 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 and it just does that on repeat. And it's just it's so loud that you can't hear the character dialogue. And there's subtitles.
Everything is subtitled.
And it's just so, like, for some reason, for me specifically, and I know this experience happens a lot with David Lynch with people with different scenes. That scene specifically is so viscerally upsetting to me because it's also what they're talking about. It's one of the scenes where, like, you finally get to see that, like, Laura is a part of this, like, prostitution, this illegal prostitution ring, and you realize that she got involved in this illegal one after she was kicked out of working with this like more high profile one with like One Eye Jacks, but then she
left the brothel to
go basically
she got
kicked out of this brothel, turns to like fully like international prostitution because she's going across borders, and you get to just see her kind of existing, and there's just this constant just like anxiety in the room, and it also leads to like Donna's character getting involved, and it's just one of the most
which Laura tried very hard to keep her out of this part of her life.
And it's wild because it's not even one of the most upsetting scenes in the movie, let alone Twin Peaks as a whole. Yeah. But that scene, for some reason, it hits me in such a way that, like, the first time I watched it, like, I fully, like, I turned it down. Yeah. And, like, paused the movie for, like, 10 minutes afterwards because I was just so, like, just deeply upset by it.
It's probably because like a lot of the scenes that are like really hard to watch, like because there are a lot of them. A lot of them have some like root in the supernatural or the abstract or something. Whereas this is like very much real, very rooted.
There's usually a spirit causing the bad thing or something, and then
there's
in this case, it's just these are just bad people.
Yeah.
People taking advantage of people and all that.
Yeah,
but
that's always worse.
It's such a just, I don't know. I found it very, very, very upsetting.
It's extremely disconcerting. Yeah.
So anyway, The Return.
Yes, The Return.
So Coop gets caught in the Black Lodge. We open on Coop in the Black Lodge 25 years later. He meets up with the Arm, who, let's be real, if anybody's still listening at this point, they know who the Arm is.
If you haven't given up on us, I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
Just in case, it's the, like...
Mike.
The severed arm
the severed arm from Mike, and it's the...
who was, like, basically Bob's caretaker in the lore. Like, he was basically, like, Mike is a spirit that takes over the guy, I can't remember his name, because we only know him as Mike, the shoe salesman.
Yep. like Gerard.
Gerard. I think it's like Gerard Michael something.
Yeah. Definitely a G name.
But Mike is kind of this spirit that is in charge of like wrangling. If Bob is like this wild animal, he's in charge of like trying to wrangle him. But he didn't want to be a part of that anymore. And he cuts off his arm, thinking that'll sever his connection to the Black Lodge.
It didn't.
It didn't. The arm then becomes a sentient being.
Yeah.
And who's kind of the overseer of the Black Lodge at this point. And so anyway, we open on Cooper in the Black Lodge. Mike shows up, takes him to go see the arm, who is now this tree with a piece of gum stuck on top.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
Yeah, I mean, you could also say that instead of gum, it's like a brain, but if it were made as like a 90s toy.
What?
Dude, fucking nailed it.
Thank you.
Holy shit.
I'm gonna need to see a picture.
I got you. But like, that's right.
But all of this, the important part that most people care about is Cooper tries to escape the Black Lodge 25 years later. Mr. C, who is the evil... Yeah, that makes sense, right?
Gotcha.
90s toy.
Yes, totally.
Mr. C sees ahead of this, created what's called a tulpa, which is a kind of a golem, kind of flesh being named Dougie Jones. And Cooper ends up taking... Dougie Jones. Takes over Dougie Jones. That's kind of all I want to get into about Dougie. As much as I want to talk about Dougie.
We could, if we start on Dougie, we will not stop.
Yeah, Dougie, we have 39 minutes. And I have 6 hours of Dougie Jones in me. He is the best character of all time.
Bless his heart.
He is perfect in all of his ways. He's married to Naomi Watts, which that alone, Janie E. and their son, Sonny Jim.
These are like, okay, so...
These are real characters in a real show.
Janie E. is the worst possible name. Because, like, Janie, fine. Jane E., fine. Janie E., that's bad. Bad to say.
I didn't realize that she's kind of playing the character she played in the first act, or the first half of Mulholland Drive. This just happy-go-lucky, happy to be here, wants to succeed, it will do her darndest just to get things done, kind of just like wearing a cardigan that doesn't fit quite right. Like,
you're not totally wrong. It's just that like she's had a lot of the happiness yanked from her.
Yeah, it almost feels like...
Dougie's giving it back.
It almost feels like her character in Mulholland Drive, if she doesn't make it.
Yeah, she had to leave Hollywood again.
She meets some businessman who's on vacation in LA and moves out to Vegas with him. That's almost how it feels.
And now they're having a kid. They're having Sonny Jim.
I will also say her character in Mulholland Drive, the first half, is one of the most infuriating. I wanted to punch her in the throat.
Mulholland Drive
so bad.
A wild experience. First of all, I loved it.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's such a good time. And it's also a very confusing time, especially when you get to Act 2. But and
then Act 3 just was weird. You get the cowboy.
It's just a time.
Fun fact: the cowboy was one of Lynch's longtime producers.
Oh, nice.
Didn't have to do a single ounce of costume design for him.
Really?
Everything
That's
that's what he wears day to day.
Oh my god!
I love that.
And apparently, that's also just kind of how he acts. He's just a weird
man.
Just a weird man.
Okay. I love that.
That movie ripped.
That was a fun time. Anyway, Twin Peaks.
Dougie.
Yes, Dougie.
Dougie
Jones. So yes, Dougie is it's
insurance salesman.
And he's an insurance salesman. He has bits of Coop to him, but he does not have all of Coop.
Obviously, he can pull because the prostitute he was with, which I cannot remember her name.
Jade.
Thank you.
Jade give 2 ride.
Jade give 2 ride. But like Jade, obviously, like
she
cares
really
about Dougie and like likes him as a person.
Yeah, the only time she started getting annoyed with him was when he was like laying on the floor and not leaving when clearly their appointment was up. He did. That was so gross.
But
oh my god.
He didn't puke as much as Mr. C.
That was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life.
But like, so it's like clear that like Dougie is like this he's not a good guy in the sense of like he doesn't take care of his money. He's kind of probably a little abusive emotionally to his family.
He's $25,000 in debt to a loan shark.
Like he's not necessarily a great guy, but it's clear that like people like Dougie
people
a
like
lot.
him.
And his
they
wife
will put up with a lot.
Yeah.
His wife clearly cares about him, and his son loves him. Like. And then he's just kind of nonverbal and like stumbles around for 16 episodes, and
they just
rules.
Are willing to work with that.
That's sweet.
I really like the like intern guy at his insurance company who's just like, Dougie, we need to get in the elevator. Dougie, and he's like holding like 15 coffees or whatever, and Dougie's like, He's like, Dougie, I didn't even know you were going to be here today. I didn't give you a coffee. And Dougie's just like trying to grab the coffee. And so he's like, here, you can have so-and-so's coffee. Like, it's fine. I got an extra green tea latte. I'll just give him that. It's fine.
I forgot about the green tea latte. Because like, he's like, I don't want a green tea latte. And
I want that!
And
which
he
is
takes
like,
a sip of the green tea latte, and he's like, it's pretty good.
He kind of keeps sipping at it. He's like, okay, I like the green tea latte.
That's funny.
You know, like Dougie's drinking the coffee with his name on it.
Everything that Dougie does like works out for other people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's clearly like influence from like the White Lodge or the Black Lodge, something else. Dougie rules.
Enough said.
Dougie rules.
I had a thing I wanted to kind of run by you about like Dougie and things working out for him.
Yeah.
Like speaking of like the slot machines, the case files he works on, less the green tea latte, that I feel like is just good luck. But
I think it's just Dougie.
It's just Dougie. But like the case files especially is, do we think that some of what he's doing there is like, is it the lodge and like Mike reaching out to help him, or do you think that's some of Coop's like old intuitive work displaying in this?
No, I think that's it may not be like, it's not like Mike or anybody. I think it's just because he's still like 50% in the lodge at this point. I think it's just the lodge itself is just kind of going like, hey, I'm gonna make your life a little bit easier. Let's have some fun. Because like when he's the Mr. Jackpot scene, like
but you see the little like the
thing like up above it, like the fire or whatever, and that tells him. And then same thing with the marking on the papers.
Yeah,
I think it's no matter what Dougie did. Like let's say Dougie was a real estate agent or something. He like something would have the Black Lodge would have influenced.
Yeah.
What was happening? I think it just so happened that it was, in this case, something that Cooper would have also probably been good at.
Yeah. I was just thinking, because, like, in watching some of the episodes from the original, we know that Coop has that weird, like, mind-body instinct connection for how he solves his cases. And so I was wondering if, like, that bit of, like, the lodge reaching out, is that actually just the Coop that's in the lodge, that instinct?
I think if there wasn't a visual thing that was like the lodge, then I would agree with you. I think the fact that there is like clearly it's like every time something like this happens he sees the lodge, it's like, oh yeah, no, this is like an outside influence. Whether it's positive or negative, I think it is, or maybe it's less like the lodge reaching out and more of Coop within the lodge.
Fair.
Like just trying to grab something, because that's also like when Dougie sticks the fork in the socket to become Coop, to like wake himself up. It's he's eating dessert or whatever, and Jamie is washing dishes, and the TV's on, and it's A Wonderful Life or something. It's some older movie, and it says like get Gordon Cole on the phone, and that what he triggers something, because Gordon Cole is Lynch's character's name, and that's when he's like, oh, I gotta get out of here, and then sticks the fork in the socket, and then it's Agent Dale Cooper. I am the FBI.
Gotcha.
Yep, one more coma. Can't go without a coma.
There are a lot of comas.
There's so many comas. There are like 3 people in a coma at the same time.
I'm like so traumatized by comas after week hero class once.
Oh no! Yeah, that's
I've
fair.
had enough.
Oh god.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dougie Jones rules. He's the
great.
best character ever created.
And what's wonderful is we still get Dougie Jones.
Yeah, because Coop, before he leaves, is like, hey, make another Tulpa, send him
make
to
another
Jamie E.
Dougie.
Okay. And Mike creates a new Dougie and then sends him to Janie E.
Okay,
nice. So they get their happy ending.
That's nice.
Because when he like wakes up, he leaves the hospital with Sonny Jim and Janie E. and is like to like go back to Twin Peaks to confront Mr. C and all of that. And it's like, I'm not taking you guys with me because that would be dangerous. But I have loved being here with you.
That was such a beautiful scene.
Dougie, I will come back.
Yeah.
And it'll be fine. And they're like, who? And like Janie recognizes actually pretty quickly, like, you are not Dougie.
Yeah.
Like, who are you and what happened? Where is Dougie? He's like, I have loved being here with you and we are a family and Dougie is coming back to you.
It rules.
And he's like, I have loved being here. I have loved being your dad and your husband. Even if I wasn't all here. But
some of the few characters to get a truly like happy ending in this show. And it's really nice.
It's really sweet and it's good. I'm glad for them.
Good.
They deserve it.
Take a brief tangent to talk about the musical performances.
Yes, oh my god.
Yeah, you mentioned a song. I was like, they're singing in this?
the way they did the return is most episodes ended with a musical number at the Roadhouse. The only time we really see
not
the
like
Roadhouse,
everyone broke out in the song and dance, but like at the Roadhouse, someone a band performed a song, like a gig at the Roadhouse, which is like a dive bar.
And it's all just bands that Lynch is a fan of.
Okay.
So there's like a band called the Chromatics that I believe the first
I think
song.
so.
I think so. And it's incredible. One thing I love about Lynch, and this is one thing I'm starting to become more attuned to as I become more of a pretentious film bro who kind of sucks a little bit.
I wasn't gonna say it, but
I know. I almost like introduced myself being like, I promise I'm not as pretentious as I sound. But like one thing, like being a musician, one thing I'm starting to become more appreciative of is a director who has proper representation of music on screen, where it's like, this is what they're playing and it's clear that is what they're playing. And every single musical number in this entire freaking show is that, because it's all bands on stage. And when a band is on stage, you better make sure that they are playing what you hear, because every musician is gonna go, that's not it.
Yeah.
Dude, that drives me crazy when a character is like, I play an instrument in a show, and then they're just like,
for sure.
This drives me crazy in the Untamed.
I know.
That one's pretty bad. He's just wiggling his fingers on top of a flute. I'm like,
that one's pretty bad.
You're not even doing it in time with the notes. You're just, it drives me crazy. I know it's like entirely different than what you're saying, but still.
But no, you're right. Every musical number in this entire show, like even in the original series, like Lynch throughout his entire career has paid so much attention to making sure that what is played is being performed.
Nice.
Yeah, with Julie, what's her name for the songs?
Her voice.
What's her name? Amazing. Julie. I'm gonna look that up. You keep going. Julie Cruz. That was it.
I only got to see 2 of them on my rewatch because I only watched 2 episodes that had it, and one of them was the Chromatics in episode 2, which is just
a great
performance.
Yeah.
And then there is one of my favorite things of all time is a performance by the 9 Inch Nails, which is so funny because they're not the 9 Inch Nails, they are 9 Inch Nails. That is their official title, but it's like, ladies and gentlemen, the 9 Inch Nails. The Roadhouse is proud to present the 9 Inch Nails.
Oh
and
my
then it's just Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross and all their boys up on stage.
That's so funny.
Performing.
It's great.
It's so good. The thing about that though is it's episode 8, so we got one scene of Mr. C and Ray, who's like his little henchman. Ray kills Mr. C, shoots him like point blank like 6 times.
Yeah.
He drops. Suddenly a bunch of spiritual woodmen, we'll get to them in a minute.
We'll get to the woodsman.
The woodsmen come in, start smearing like blood all over him. They pull an orb out of his stomach. Cut to black. Cut to the 9 Inch Nails performance.
And then.
Well, because the 9 Inch Nails performance ends, and then it cuts to Mr. C jumping back up. Cut to Nevada desert, 1942.
Oh, I have this detail. Hang on, I wrote it down. No, I didn't.
I think it's whatever year it was that they tested
the Trinity Atomic
Bomb test. And then it enters into 45 minutes of the weirdest thing ever put to screen on television, which is, oddly enough, the most concrete storytelling we get out of all of Twin Peaks. Like, it's just, you go from, like, even the stuff that's told in a linear fashion and, like, correctly is more confusing than the stuff that you see for the rest of it. Like, it's so fucking weird.
It's very cool to watch. It is very disconcerting.
It's so good.
26 minutes without dialogue.
Yeah.
And it rules.
So who are the woodsmen?
So the woodsmen are not ever 100% explained. They may be in the books, and I just haven't read it.
There's books?
There's a lot.
Oh my gosh.
Mark Frost went on to write a bunch of extra stuff. There's like Laura Palmer's diary and a couple extra things that he went on to write. I think there's also a comic series, like a very short-lived comic series.
I didn't know about that.
So the woodsmen are they're almost kind of like, the way I see it, like the henchmen of the Black Lodge.
Okay, gotcha.
That vibes.
They're kind of like the grunts of the Black Lodge. They look like woodsmen. Their first appearance was Fire Walk With Me, where you see two of them, but they also just look like two dudes in fake beards and flannel shirts.
Yeah, they're just like hanging out in a meeting of Black Lodge members.
Yeah, they just kind of exist. But in episode 8 is really the only, like, you see him once earlier in the show when
in the prison.
In the
jail, rather.
Yeah, in the jail, where he like looks, smiles, and then disappears.
Oh, what's that actor?
The guy who played Chad or whatever.
No, who
I don't remember.
Oh my god, it's from Scream.
Matthew Lillard.
Thank you. Matthew Lillard's in it.
I love him.
Oh,
yeah,
he delivers an
he's
incredible
so good.
performance.
Oh, I'll just watch his scene.
Watch like the first 2 episodes of Return.
Okay.
But then he crossed the fade later.
Briefly, yeah.
Yeah, to die.
Yeah. But
pretty nasty too. It's great.
It's good.
It's good. He got a good little role.
Okay, I'll look at that up too.
But the woodsmen come back in episode 8, but they're much worse.
Okay.
They're just like these.
They are
so
gross. Scary to me.
Covered in like soot, like head to toe. One of them is just like, the only thing he says is "got a light." He just like walks in and he's like, "Got a light,"
and it's like really like
there's audio processing going
and
on.
It's like it's and that's all he says. Exact same intonation every single time. It's terrible. He's not doing anything. He's just saying it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
that's scary.
Terrifying.
He delivers one of the greatest performances of the show when he takes over a radio station. This is also in middle of nowhere, New Mexico, where we see young Laura Palmer, Sarah Palmer. But he like gets on he like kills the people in the radio station, and it's this is the water, this is the well, drink full and ascend. The horse is the white of the eyes,
and dark within.
And he just like does that over and over and over again, and it's just awesome.
And you see a couple of people listening to this radio broadcast.
This is the water,
and most of them just collapse.
Yeah, they just like pass out. Sarah Palmer, she falls asleep, and then a gross little frog insect thing crawls into her mouth. Evil. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And that's the birth of Bob.
Yep.
This is the water, and this is the well. Drink full and ascend.
It's decent, isn't it?
It's ascend.
That's not what my captions told me.
It is ascend. He says A. Drink full and ascend. The horse is the white of the eyes and dark within. Because I was paying extra close attention. I promise.
Your captions are wrong.
I think
that's fascinating.
That's possible. That's possible.
Oh, I'm not saying it's
because I was watching the DVD.
Fascinating.
So,
someone should tell Prime that. The horse is the white of the eyes and dark within.
Okay.
Which
meanwhile, he just has like a Marlboro Red just hanging out of his mouth, and it's kind of badass.
Yeah.
Everything about the woodsman, I'm just like, these dudes rule, man. These guys are so sick.
Gotcha.
But it always reminds me of the scene where we see Leland kill Maddie, because immediately before that, Sarah comes kind of crawling into the living room.
This one, she was confirmed drugged by Leland.
Yes.
Because he fully hands her a drink and goes, drink up.
Yeah.
And
so, but the thing she sees in the room first is a white horse. Which, we've seen this little white horse. We've seen like little figures of white horse. She sees the white horse. Now the horse is the white of the eyes and the dark within.
Gotcha.
So it's like, okay, good to know. Confirmed. White horse, bad. Bad time. Do not like.
The whole idea is like, people subconsciously and just naturally, when something traumatic happens, you try to put some other image on top of it.
Yes, repression.
And in this case, the just physical manifestation of that in this show for every character is a white horse.
Gotcha.
When you see the white horse, you know something bad is happening, but
Gotcha.
the character we're watching it through can't see it.
Gotcha.
And is active, like half the time, actively choosing not to see it.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Which I think is cool because it touches on the idea of like you a lot of times will see like stories of like, oh, this dad was abusing their children, and then it's like, well, why didn't the mom do anything? It's like, well, this is what the mom was seeing.
Yeah.
This is what that other person was seeing. It's like they weren't seeing anything.
Yep.
Because they couldn't.
Yeah.
They didn't want to. There was so much. Yeah. And I think it's a very tasteful way of covering that topic.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
So more of the return.
More of the return. Can we talk about Freddy?
Oh boy, oh can we?
Because Freddy is so random to me and so funny as a concept.
He is.
Freddy's a character who's only in the return.
Okay.
And only in 5 scenes?
Maybe.
Okay.
One of which he doesn't say anything. It's in the very last scene of the very first episode when...
He's just kind of there at the Roadhouse.
He works with James, and him and James go to the Roadhouse. James has a crush on some girl that doesn't exist after episode 1. No, she does because her... Yeah. That's right, there's a whole...
Because there's a whole bar fight about it.
Yeah, I forgot about that because her husband's abusive or something.
Okay.
He's just...
I don't know, it's Lynch. They're probably in a bad relationship.
Yeah, it doesn't seem great. But James just has a crush on another woman. And that's
Freddy.
And Freddy
is just also there with James.
And Freddy is a British man who put on a glove and could never take off the glove.
Yep.
And the glove lets him punch things.
Yep.
Like really
He just has a gardening glove.
He just has a glove. Yeah, he's a gravity glove.
Uh-huh.
Just lets him punch things. One of the last scene that he is in, he kills Bob.
He kills Bob.
He just
killed him.
By his gloved hand?
Because Bob's an orb. We get the Borb by the end of it.
The Borb?
We get the Borb, because there's the Lorb, which is the Laura orb, and then we get the Borb, which is the Bob
God.
orb. And the Borb, after Mr. C finally actually dies, the Borb comes out and then starts like attacking Freddy because
Freddy's
there.
He's like in front. He's like trying to draw his attention.
And he goes, I think this is my destiny. And the Borb starts attacking him, and he punches the Borb until it explodes.
Yep.
This show fucking rules.
Yep. And my note for this is, imagine your destiny is to wear a gardening glove, move to Nowhere, Washington, and punch an evil ball.
Oh my god. Yeah, this whole show is just, I've said this, it's such a trip.
It is.
It continues the whole time. I love Freddy. So many people were pissed about it because it's this nobody.
This nowhere guy from nowhere who's never been mentioned before just shows up and kills Bob.
But that's kind of the point, right?
And that's okay. So
admittedly, I was annoyed at first too, and then I was like, actually, no, this is hilarious.
Freddy is the most Lynch character in that Lynch doesn't care.
Yeah.
Lynch is like, this is the story. This is the story I want to tell, and so he tells his story. And he's like, I think this guy with a glove should kill Bob.
Like, okay.
Do we know this guy, David? Have we met this guy before? Oh. Do you think this is going to build upon the story we've established? Oh, okay, David.
His name is Freddy.
Oh, does he have a connection to our existing characters?
He was born in London.
Oh, okay, David, if that's what you want.
Yes. That's the conversation that he had.
That's great.
Like
he just does whatever he wants.
He does.
Because, okay.
As he should.
Because here's the thing, is episode 17 is 100%, episode 17 is the fans ending.
Yeah.
It's Bob dies, Mr. C is dead, everybody's back united in Twin Peaks. We get to see Cooper is finally back, and Diane's there, and the sheriff and Albert and Gordon, and like it's everybody's
and
reunited.
And the mob bosses and Candy is happy with the
everyone's
mob
together
bosses again, which is a minor plot that we've not talked about at all, but it makes me happy.
Everyone's together for 30 seconds, and then it keeps going. And then there's, then you get episode 18, which is Lynch's ending, which is, okay, you guys wanted a conclusive ending?
Fuck you.
Like, there's like I was talking about, like, there's the whole theory that like we kill Laura Palmer. Right?
Yeah.
You turn on the show, Laura Palmer is dead because you started watching the show, and we don't have the time to talk about the season finale or like the series finale, but
not too in depth. But we
like
can go over.
It's Cooper
go over it.
Tries to go back in time to save Laura from the night she dies, and instead of like fixing the timeline, because Cooper is this character that he can't stop. Yes, we saved the day. I have to do more. So he goes back. He uses the Black Lodge and ways to go back in time.
And he and Diane go together.
Well,
briefly.
This is even before that. He goes back to save Laura.
Oh yeah, you're so right.
He goes back to save Laura. And he's like walking her through the woods, and then she just disappears. He then goes back, and then that's when him and Diane, they're like, hey, we have to go to another dimension to like, now it's I have to fix it. And he goes and he finds that version's Laura Palmer. Her name's Carrie Page. She lives in Odessa, Texas. She's like kind of an idiot. And like
she sort of just killed a man.
She just killed a man.
Or potentially days ago killed a man. He did not look fresh.
No, but like she's like, where are we going? He's like, Twin Peaks, Washington. And she's like, DC? And he's like, state. Is it gonna be cold? Do I need a jacket? Like,
is that like up north?
She's like not bright. She's just living day to day.
She's just doing her best.
And he like takes her to go to. He's like, I have to introduce you. Like, I have to take you back to your family home. And he gets
getting you to your mom. Like the only thing that seemed to register as maybe familiar was that her mom's name was Sarah.
And Leland also, because he's like, do you know Sarah Palmer? And she's like, I don't think so. And he's like, is your father Leland Palmer? And that like triggered because I think the name Leland specific because I watched it today. And
that was Sarah because she said Sarah. She repeated the name.
Yeah, she says like Sarah, and then she says like, does the name Leland Palmer mean anything? And she like freezes on me.
Okay, fair.
And they like go to Twin Peaks. They go to the house, and it's owned by. Fun fact: the actress who plays her is the actual owner of the house.
Oh, cool.
Who, when she bought the house, did not know anything about the show Twin Peaks.
Nice.
Oh,
but has apparently turned like half of it into a museum.
That's cool.
And like actually like was friends with Lynch for like years, and that's why she agreed to be in the show. And it turns out like Sarah Palmer never lived there, and all of this stuff.
Yeah,
and it ends with, this is gonna mean nothing to you. Cooper, like they make the realization after talking to like the owner of the house, and they walk away, and he's like, "What year is this?" And then Laura looks at the house, and then suddenly you hear
Sarah
calling for Laura. It's the audio clip. I read this clip this time. It's the audio clip of the first episode.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that the first time I watched
it.
It's the audio clip of the very first time that we hear Sarah calling Laura's name when she won't wake up.
Yep.
And then she lets out one of the greatest screams.
Yeah.
She's so good at screams.
And then you hear the sound of like an old like electricity shutting off.
Okay.
Which is in my way, like my brain, Lynch's way of going, like, you guys started this. You wanted this. And now that you wanted a conclusive ending, you're getting the most conclusive ending of all time.
It's over.
The power is off. We're done. You get nothing else. Like, you can't want anything else because there's nothing else for me to give you. And it's just, I fucking love this show, dude.
Gotcha.
Like one other thing that like drives me crazy about that finale, which again won't mean anything to you, Rachel, but it means the world to me, and I'm sure Logan, is that the woman at the door, she's like, yeah, I no one by the name Sarah Palmer lives here. No one by this name Sarah Palmer lived here before this. The previous owners of the house were a Chalfont and a Tremont.
She is Chalfont.
Oh yeah,
so
she's
Tremont. She bought it from Mrs. Tremont.
Yeah, she's Chalfont. She bought it from Tremont, which are two names that have been previously used in the show.
That's the same character.
So like Tremont was the name of the old woman from Meals on Wheels that someone from the Black Lodge used as a name for themselves.
Yeah.
And Chalfont was the name of someone who owned an RV in an RV park where Teresa Banks was killed. That was then used by someone in the Black Lodge in their place.
Okay.
So these are names that have been used by Black Lodge members before.
Yeah, it's the names. It's less of like, here's an important. I think it was truly just them being like,
Here's another.
Hey.
It's like, we can make you very suspicious here.
Yeah. You can make anybody who knows these names is going to not like this character immediately. Which sucks because she's a charming woman.
Yeah, she's a very nice lady.
She's
she
like,
gets like someone knocking on her door at like 9 p.m. being like, "Hi,
I'm the FBI.
I think you don't live in your own home." And she was very pleasant about it.
She was lovely. She's a wonderful woman.
Which is fine, but it's like, those are the names that have been used by by people from the Black Lodge. And it's just like,
I did get an absolute joyous time out of rewatching episodes 1 and 2, remembering that Ruth Davenport existed.
God.
Was Ruth Davenport the lady, or was she the victim?
She was... Well, now I'm...
Either way, that woman,
Yeah.
One of the greatest performances in the show, just the most oh no, Ruth was the victim. She's like, do you think Ruth's out of town? Well, why?
God.
Because I'm supposed to
water
water
her
her
dog.
plants. Water her plants.
Yeah.
I have a key. Just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it's just like, there's a really nasty smell coming out of an apartment. And
Which one can guess?
Yeah.
Why?
Which, like, the neighbor smells the smell, and so she calls the cops. She can't remember her own address to get the cops there.
Mhm.
She
one of the best. It's
she's
truly an incredible performance.
yeah, she's like, "Oh, how can we get you the key into the apartment?" Well, the super would probably have the key. Oh, the super's out of town. Well, how can we get you the key? Oh, well, you know what, this person
He
would have
usually
the key.
leaves his keys with his brother.
It's like, okay, well, who is a brother? It's like, oh, well, I don't know where he would be. But this guy, the maintenance guy might know. They're best friends. And it's like, she's just like listing all these things that are so unhelpful and finally sends it. And then she's like, I have a key. And it's just like, man.
That's great.
Meanwhile, the maintenance guy that they were talking to thinks they're here to arrest him.
Oh my god.
Just like for no reason. That like, they're just like, do you have a key or not? And he's like, who wants to know?
Oh my god.
It's such a hilarious scene.
Yeah, it's such a wild. It's such a bizarre experience.
It's all so good.
I wish I could wipe my memory
Just to rewatch it all.
just to rewatch all of it again. Like, especially because like the first time I watched the original series, I was 14.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't know shit.
Yeah, totally.
And then I watched The Return a couple of years ago.
Yep.
I think it was pandemic time.
That
No.
tracks.
I rewatched the original series in the pandemic. I watched Return for the first time like a year ago when I got McKenna's Prime login.
Yeah.
And then as soon as they announced the Z to A collection, I was like, and I'm buying that. Thank you.
You're gonna watch it all.
Yeah. God, the show rules. Anything else? Any other big topics we want to hit?
I did want to get your theory on Audrey in The Return. What's going on with her? What do you think?
So we know bad thing happened when Bad Coop existed. She was unconscious. Do you know this whole thing?
No.
So, sorry, this is about to hit kind of a dark topic. She, was in the explosion at the back.
Yes. Yeah.
She's
at the end of season 2 of Twin Peaks, she had locked herself to a bank, and then the bank blew up.
Okay.
So that was the last we heard of her.
She is, and everybody say it with me, in a coma.
Yay!
Evil Coop comes out and finds out she's in a coma, does a very bad thing.
Oh god.
That's
Richard?
That's where Richard comes from.
Damn, I thought Richard was from Pilot Guy.
No, Richard is a being of pure evil conceived of pure evil.
I mean, that tracks. He sucks.
So she basically is like comes out of this coma and gives birth to pure evil.
Oh my
Fuck.
god.
And
I just thought Richard was a dick. I didn't realize that's what had happened.
So there's 2 theories that I go back and forth on with her. One of them is she, what's his name, Charlie. She's clearly mentally not.
Yeah, not well at all.
There's clearly a lot of PTSD and a lot of like other issues going on in her life.
Yeah.
So one of the ideas is that Charlie is her husband and they were likely happily married at one point, but
and
her
it's just deteriorated.
mental health is deteriorated so much that like she doesn't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And his only job and only way of like helping her is to just keep her at home.
Yeah.
Because if she goes somewhere else, something bad will happen.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah,
because there was a lot of like not saying no to her, but let's stall on getting her out the door.
Yeah, he's just so sleepy.
He's just so sleepy.
He's just
Audrey, I can't go out. I'm just so sleepy.
That's his best excuse.
I mean, it worked for a very long time. He's like, I
Charlie's-
have all this work to do, and I'm already so sleepy.
I know this is the 5th character I've said this about. Charlie's one of the best characters in that.
I mean, he's a dick. I mean, she's being such a dick to him too, so it works.
Charlie,
but he's so funny.
He's awesome.
His excuse for like everything is just Audrey, I'm so sleepy.
I'm just so sleepy.
And he never says tired. It's always sleepy.
I'm just so sleepy.
I'm just so sleepy.
I don't want to go out. I'm just so sleepy.
Okay.
No, we can't. No, we can't go.
It's like, and then like when she finally is like stalling and going out, he's like, Audrey, you're the one who wanted to go out. Like, what are we doing here?
He's
if
just
you're not gonna go out, I'm gonna go. Like, I'm just so sleepy.
Gaslight girl about gatekeep. Fuck that. I screwed that up so bad.
Girl gay.
Gaslight girl boss gatekeep.
Like, there you go.
That dude.
Girl gay gatekeep.
I'm a white man. I can gaslight like the best of them, but nothing like that. Are you kidding me? Like that is
no. He's good at it. It was like very skillful.
So.
But the other theory is then because like after she has her whole dance, which is clearly hallucination.
Yeah, like that was buck wild.
Clearly hallucination. And then it cuts to the white room. Right?
Yes.
So there's the other theory that is all of this is fully in her head, and she's been
institutionalized,
trapped in a white box.
That sucks.
They're both sad.
Yeah.
Both are, yeah. And I guess in that case, Charlie would probably be more like her doctor or something.
Like a shrink or something. Yeah, 100%.
So, because I was, my one question was like, if she's in an institution and she's having all these conversations about like Billy and Tina and Chuck, and I was like, okay, so that's probably not even like a real thing. But then we see that conversation between Tina's daughter and whoever about Billy and like that whole mess, which makes it seem like it's a real thing that's happening.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about Billy.
Okay, cool.
There's the whole theory that Billy is Billy Zane.
That's what I was thinking, actually.
Because there's the idea that if she is like kind of outside of the world of Twin Peaks, that she's now meta commentary.
Yeah.
You know what?
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that one.
It would be funny.
I think it'd be funny, and I think that is kind of one. I guarantee that was one of those like web theories that like Lynch and Frost were like, "That's funny,"
Yeah,
but no.
Yeah, I mean, it could just be she's hearing, gossip or whatever, and it's just...
Yeah, you think about nurses coming to give her meds and they're talking about something. And
she just overhears.
I think, it really bums me out.
Me too.
Like, her character really bums me out.
Audrey is,
really
was
cool
one of my
way.
favorites back in the day, and I loved her, and I
do
loved
think
what she
part
was
of it is
capable
also
of.
Sherilyn Fenn is, like, not a great person.
That, I've heard.
Her politics aren't
cool. Okay,
gotcha. Oof.
Yeah, she's like, I think like anti-vax. And,
damn it!
Yeah, it kind of sucks.
Girl, I was rooting for you.
Kind of sucks. But,
that sucks a lot, but fair.
But I also think that was post-filming of Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, I think that was one of those storylines that, she has, 3 scenes across all 18 episodes?
Oh, yeah, it's like
and it's
nothing.
like the first scene's in like episode 3, the second scene's in like episode 9, and the third one's in like episode 15 or something.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
like
very
another...
spaced out.
Yeah, and like that's another thing, because like everyone is going through like a whole lot of time, and hers is seemingly just the one night.
I think, it's really interspersed in a very interesting... I think that part is interesting, where it's like, when we jump back to her, it's like, no time has passed. Like, Dougie's lived a month.
Yeah.
And no time has passed for her. Like, where does this fall in the timeline? Yeah. Where is
Either
this?
she's just still dealing with the exact same problem, and this is repeating every single night, or only one night has passed. That's
why I kind of like the idea that she's, like, institutionalized, because it's like, time for her just doesn't exist.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
It's incredibly depressing. She's one of the most heartbreaking characters in the show.
Gotcha.
But they all are. They all are just brutal. Man, show rules.
It's so good. It's so sad.
I know I just rewatched all the core episodes. I think I'm going to rewatch all of The Return.
Me and Maggie are doing a watch of season 2.
I don't want to watch season 2.
That's fair. But that was, you could watch the early and the end.
I could watch episodes 1 through 8 and then episodes 18 through 22.
We'll be starting at 1 next time we hang out if you want to jump in on that.
Yeah, I might. The rest of it, I don't care about, like 9 through 18. Those suck so.
I mean, you're not wrong is the thing.
It's so bad.
You're not wrong is the thing.
It's so bad.
So anyway, that was Twin Peaks. We could continue talking for the next like year and a half, but we won't.
Oh no, we will, just not on mic.
Yes, with that, I think I'm going to sum up my final thoughts with I love Agent Albert Rosenfeld.
Albert.
What did I say?
No, you said the right thing.
There's our hour and a half.
Yeah.
I love him. I love him dearly.
I just forgot about him and remembered him again.
Yes. He's my favorite. He's such an asshole. But he is a pacifistic FBI agent, and I think that's unique, and I adore him, and I love him so much, and he's my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
That's my final thought for the day.
Logan, final thoughts.
My final thought, the show rules. Everybody should watch it. At least season 1.
Give it a shot.
Give it a shot. Make it through episode 8 of season 2. If you like what you see, keep going. Deal with the bad for the first time. If you
don't have to watch it again.
Yeah, if you get through season 2 and you don't like the weird stuff, just stop.
Yeah.
But if you go, I could probably do this. I could do this for another 18 hours. Then hunker down. My final takeaway: watch episode 8 of The Return after 11:30 at night with as little light as possible.
Oh my god!
If you can, get high like 4 hours earlier.
Okay, specifically.
So that way,
that's good.
So that way, you're like in that days when your high is coming down, and you're like everything kind of sucks just a little bit. You know?
Right, that's right.
Oh boy, yeah.
But you're also mentally capable of paying attention. So like get high, like get like really really high like 4 hours earlier, and then start it at like midnight. And you're gonna wake up the next morning and go, was that
real?
I think some of that happened, and you'll go rewatch it in the morning, and guess what?
It all happened.
Great.
Yeah.
Very specific instructions, thank you.
That's the best way to do it.
Any final thoughts from you, Rachel?
My brain hurts. I don't like things that don't make sense.
That's fair.
I have a headache now.
But I might watch the first season. I was texting my mom. I was like, did you ever watch Twin Peaks? And she's like, I loved it in the 90s. I was like, okay, I might rewatch it with you then. So,
hell yeah. Give it a try.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But
I will tell you, it makes a little more sense when you're actually watching it through rather than just the clips I showed you.
I guess.
When you're jumping around like we were earlier, that doesn't help things at all.
Even after all this explanation, like, not everything is explained,
well,
you know?
Like,
there's
we're
a bunch
jumping
of theories.
around. So.
Like,
I mean, yeah, and a lot of it's going to be surreal and
sometimes
abstract.
I like
that's
that.
fine.
So it just depends what I feel about it. So
That's
we'll see.
fair.
I'll give it a shot.
It's
at
not
some
for
point.
everyone.
Yeah,
but it's worth a shot.
Yeah, for
All right.
sure.
I want to go home and see my cat.
All right,
All right.
same.
All right,
Thanks,
bye,
y'all.
y'all.